Hey, what's up everybody? This is Kalan from White Glove Models and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get started on part 5 of the Agora Models Battleship Bismarck. So last week there wasn't a Bismarck video. That's because I was busy working on the Land Rover and unfortunately she had to go back in her box. But we will be pulling out the Land Rover again here really soon to do some final work on it. But in the meantime, with part 5, the first part that you're going to be doing is actually a hull section. And as you know, I'm not doing the hull sections at this time. So we're going to skip ahead and go to the next part of part 5, which will be the cap stands. And we will go ahead and head over to the workbench and get started on those. All right, welcome to the workbench, guys. We are ready to rock and roll. So we have our little toolbox here, or fishing tackle box, whatever you want to call it, that has all of our parts nicely and neatly organized. So we are doing part 5. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out all of the parts for part 5. That's actually a lie. I'm going to pull out most of the parts for part 5 because, as you guys know, the whole section here, this is basically all you get, and then there's a section of the hull and you would be attaching this to it. So we're going to skip that just because I am going to do some other work on the hull later on down the road, and we are done with this. Some of you are also probably asking yourselves what happened with the barrels here and with the turret. Well, I had stripped everything down and taken it apart. I did create another video, but I have not released it because the spring was too tight. And so we're going to go ahead and come back to the turret, or Anton gun as it's called. We'll come back to that once I have a spring that will actually work. And as you can see here, I purchased several different springs for the barrel, but they are just way too strong and they won't compress enough. So I'm going to get something that's kind of in between this and the original spring, which was way too light and could not really handle the fact that I had painted it and it was too hard for it to actually move the barrels forward and back. So if that makes sense. So anyways, moving on. All right, so here we have all of our glues, and basically, for those of you that forgot, this is super glue, and it's the gel form that comes with a little bit of a brush. I absolutely love this little dispenser for it, and basically, you can always refill it when you get, for instance, so pro tip here, I wouldn't necessarily call it a pro tip, but let me see if I can get my little glue sticks out. So basically, you can take one of your crazy glues. I actually like these crazy glues, so I keep them relatively in this same container just because it's super, super simple to use. But you can always just empty one of these into there. But also at the dollar store, for those of you that are into getting great deals on stuff, the dollar store sells these super glues, and these suck, to be honest, because you use it once and it dries out. So a little hack here that you can do, pro tip, you can take the glue from these, empty it into here, and I'll tell you what, it'll last you for quite a while. So that is always a good option as well when you need to figure out a way to make these last and stretch further. So I'm going to go ahead and put all of this back because we don't need it right now. I am going to pull this one out just because I do use this one quite a bit as well. And this is, again, is just simple crazy glue. And it's one of my go-tos, to be honest. I absolutely love this stuff. So I got all these out. This is your Revell Contacta Professional. This stuff does an excellent job whenever you're gluing even painted parts. I've found this stuff does a great job, as well as the Instacure. This is the super, super thin. And big shout out to Stacy from Hobbies Unlimited in Portland, Oregon. She hooked me up with this, and this is super thin. 1 to 3 second glue. If you're needing a really good contact within just seconds, this stuff is very nice, but it flows like you wouldn't believe. So you got to be very, very conscious of that. Then you've got the extreme power medium. This is kind of a medium viscosity, and I love this stuff. It's another CA glue, just does a great job. And we have the Tamiya extra thin, which is always a good go-to. And then the standard Tamiya cement right there. So I'm going to put these off to the side, and basically I just use them for various different uses. If you want to know more about that, just put a message down in the comments down below, and just let me know if you want a more detailed instruction on how and when I use certain glues. So moving on, we are going to first take the forward section of the upper deck, which we've got here. And she is still looking very, very beautiful. And I'm going to have to weather up some of these details after the fact. But this is flat clear coated and ready to go. I have made a decision on the section of the deck here. We are going to go ahead and move forward with actually painting eventually the symbol on there that was historically on there and still is to this day as she lies at the bottom of the ocean. I will be making a tarp that will cover it up whenever I feel like covering it. So there is that decision made. So we've got a bunch of little vials here, which I keep all my little tiny parts in. These are all painted, and I have painted them various different colors. This is the XF66, the Tamiya XF66, which is a very nice go-to gray for ships. And then this is a I'm trying to remember if this is dark iron, because I think I may have painted those dark iron. I just didn't write it down, which I probably should have. But we let's see, I might have done it in a dark gray. So I'm going to say I probably painted those in the dark gray, the XF24. When I go to paint the next set that I get, I will let you guys know for sure what color I did. I also could go through the various videos that I have of me painting this, and most likely I did show to the camera at some point what color I was using. So we've got these here. I'm going to dump them out. And then we've got parts for the cap stands right here as well. And these are sections for the anchor to go through. But the first thing you're going to be grabbing is the covers for the anchor chain opening and the chain guides. And what these are the chain guides. They look kind of like this. And I'm going to spin the deck around here. So it looks like we've got two little holes there, and then they'll just go into place. Maybe some tweezers might be handy. And then they should just pop right into place. So what I'll do is I'll put a dab of glue into those openings, and I think what I'm going to use today is I will use the extreme power medium. And for those of you that follow the channel, I tend to like to use my little candle tin right here, and I'll put the glue on there and then transfer it to the holes with a little idea I got from the World of Wayne, a pin vise with a sewing needle attached to it. And all you do if the glue starts building up here is you just light it with a lighter, and that burns off, and you've got a nice clean tip. So one of these sewing needles should last you for a very long time. I'll put my glue in there. And you guys know me, I usually put way more than I actually need. Then we'll just take this guy, throw him in. And if you have any spill out, I just take one of these cosmetic style cotton swabs and just kind of clean it up around the edge, because these have those little pointy tips. And there we are, looking good. I do have a little fuzzy here, which I'll try to pull off. There we go. And then just again, we're going to do the same thing to the other side here. Cool. And there is that. Then you've got the anchor chain covers, which go over the little openings you see right there, which I'm assuming down the road the chain will be guided down inside of there. And those will just do a quick test fit here. They'll be going in kind of like so. And on these, I think I can get away with using just glue on the underside here to lock that in place. That's gonna be a little tricky to get the chain to go down there after it's on, but I understand why they're having you do it now. So then we'll just take the next one and do the exact same thing over here. Make sure that's good and seated, and then I can take my glue. There we go. Happy with that. So now it looks like we get to work on the cap stands, and we're not actually attaching them to anything. We're just going to build them up right now. So we've got, I'll just go ahead and take this guy. And then the wheel's just gonna go on here, it looks like. Perfect. Alright, so I need to clean out some of the material that's on these. So what I'll be doing is just taking a file here and running the file all the way around. And that should give me enough clearance to actually put these on. Alright, so let's see if this one fits on here, because we're basically just doing the exact same thing that we did on the other side. And it's still a bit snug, but that's going to go on in place but this is going to go in place just like so, maybe. There we go. So we've got that one on, and then just doing the exact same thing here with these, because I did end up painting the inside of these for some reason. They were on a little piece of wood, so they really shouldn't have gotten any paint in there, but I guess they did. So I'll just go until I feel comfortable with that. And then just like the painted part, that should just slide in something like so. Definitely do like how these turned out. And it's not telling me to put any glue, so I don't think I'm going to glue anything at the moment. We'll go ahead and throw this one on as well. Maybe. There we go. It's a little bit snug, but that's fine by me. And then again, this one needs the top part mounted. The little wheel that goes on there. So there we have those ready to go in. And I believe they're going to be eventually mounting right here, but we're not going to be doing that in this episode. So here we have this one looking wonderful right there. And then you've got the second one, which is a little bit off kilter, but I might be able to fix that here in a little bit. But overall, I definitely like the color of that a lot better than I did. than the plastic parts. So looking pretty good. And for this stage, minus the hull section, we have a completed stage 5. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Part 5 was very, very quick and easy. So glad that you guys were able to join me on this portion of the build. Part 6 will be a little bit different. We won't be doing it because, again, it is part of the hull section. So we will, next week, we'll just skip ahead to part number 7. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see some more great content. And other than that, I will see you guys next time.